Bruce, the other day you were telling us that you were finding your place with this group. And tonight, did you feel you had it in a full comfort zone?
Yeah, I'm completely comfortable out there now. I know exactly what they need me to do on both ends of the floor. I think today, the first unit was they started off a little slow. So the bench unit had to come in and give them a little spark, and it woke us up.
A few games in a row now where you guys as a bench unit have provided that spark. Yep. Pretty interesting mix of guys just in terms of like that blend of experience and youth with that second unit. What's it like playing with that group?
It's great. I mean, that's our job. I mean, some games we only need the starters to lift us up, right? But, I mean, Jamal brings energy. CB brings the ultimate energy tonight. Man, we take pride in that.
You ran a couple of those inverted snug pick and rolls with Kelly.
Yep.
How fun was that to operate with?
It's great. Easy to score. I love to score, right? Wide open layups, no contest there. So I love doing that every time we get a chance to.
Where did you learn how to screen? Because obviously it wasn't like a huge part of your game in college, but coming to the NBA, playing off of a lot of players, you've been looked at. Even Darko said he studied your screening and your cutting before you became.
I think it was in Brooklyn when I played with James and them. They always would put the weakest defender on me, and as I said, I love to score the ball, so that was my chance to get the ball out of their hands and put it in the bucket. So I actually started against Atlanta when I was in Brooklyn.
What do you think of Scotty's ability to take on the best defensive assignment every night and how he did on McCarroll tonight? And what's it mean to the team that the best player will take that assignment every night?
I mean, kudos to Scotty. He's doing it on both ends, right? And that's super, it's tiring, right? But you don't see that in Scotty. And Paulo's huge, can wear him down. But yeah, you as you said, you don't see that a lot in the NBA. Well, your best player taking on the top offensive player. So kudos to Scotty for doing that.
I remember you saying around this time last year in the lead up to the deadline that hearing your name out there was kind of a new experience for you. Yeah. Going through that last year, does it make it a little bit easier now to kind of cut out the noise?
Last year was super tough. I was saying I didn't care about it, but I did. It was tough just knowing if I was going to be here or not, or if I was going to stay in the hotel. So, but now it's it's part of the business. And through the summer, I knew at some point I was going to face this again, just being on an expiring deal on a young team. But if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'm happy to be here.
When you and Kelly were kind of watching on the sidelines the first 25 or 30 games in your case, could you see where you guys could have helped this group and nights like this would have been so?
Definitely, there was some points I was like, damn, I can't wait to get back on the defensive end. Offensively, I knew it was going to be a struggle at first, just because we have a lot of guys who play the same position. And again, I moved off the ball, which I haven't been in the last 3 years. So I knew it was going to be tough offensively, but defensively, I couldn't wait to get out there.
But just having two veterans like you and Kelly.
Yeah, we can figure it out. Yeah, right. We can figure it out. Me and Kelly been in different situations on a bunch of teams we've been on, so at some point we could figure it out.
You got to run some snug pick and rolls, the inverted ones with Bruce. How was that, kind of being the guy?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, Bruce is a great roller in the pocket. He's done that for years and years and years. Roll, get him the ball, he's going to finish, make a play. Yeah, it's tough to guard. I mean, it's not something a lot of people do, and yeah, make the most of it.
Kelly, after missing a bunch of games to start the year, how does it feel to kind of get your legs on you and feel in rhythm?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it takes a little while. I was out with the back for a long time, and when you out with the back, you can't really run. You got to get back into shape, your body back into the rhythm. It takes a long time. It's kind of like I just started playing after taking 2.5 months or 2 months off or whatever it was. So it takes a little time, but starting to get that rhythm back, that feel back, and play some better basketball.
I mean, when you guys, I was asking this of Bruce as well, you guys were out and you're watching games like this where you have two veterans coming in off the bench making important contributions when needed. I mean, it's it could have been useful early.
It could have been very useful. I mean, there was a few games there in the beginning. I mean, there's a lot of games there in the beginning of the season where we were right there. Just didn't. One ball didn't bounce our way. We missed one shot. Couldn't get one stop. But we were in a lot of those games early, And then, you bring everybody back, and now it's kind of like you're back to square one in training camp, trying to see how everything fits together, who can play with who and how, and what's the best way we can do it. But I think we're starting to play better as of late.
You were plus 39 in like 22 minutes. Is that something you yourself or players notice is kind of like over the course of the game, do you think they'd be able to guess their plus minus? Like, yeah, I won a lot of minutes, maybe I lost some.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I would say we were scoring a lot when I was on the court, but other than that, in the course of the game, you probably know similarly, but sometimes you might be off a little bit. But yeah, I mean, that's obviously an impact you want to have is, you want your team to be in the positive when you're playing. It shows a contribution to the game in some ways that don't show up in the other stats.
4 blocks tonight. You turned in the rim protector.
I know, rim protection, man. We need it. I don't know. Turning back the clock.
It was 2018, last time we had 4 in a game.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Damn. Those were the good old days. We're back.
You were probably more spry back then.
Yeah, probably a little bit, yeah.
So what's up? Why tonight? Just anticipation?
Yeah, I mean, just opportunities, see your opportunities and take them. I mean, they were down there, and some of them are guards who are trying to make a move, and you can kind of use your length and size. Other ones you have to just time it. But yeah, I mean, good thing to do. Yeah, it helps. It all helps.
Darko's like a pretty unique guy to guard.
100%.
Because of everything he has. But Scotty seemed to really match up with him well. What did you see from his willingness to do that?
I thought Scotty did a very good job. Paolo was really good at the start of the game. Came out and made some shots, made some plays, and after that, I think Scotty really tightened the screws and kind of forced him into some tougher stuff. But no, he's a tough guard. I mean, he's big, strong, athletic, a force, and then he moves really well. Has a little wiggle to his game, a little skip and step. And when he's making, kind of like, hesitations and sidestep shots, I mean, he's really, really tough because he does so much, with force going to the basket, being, bigger, stronger, and finishing over people that, when he's doing that as well, it's really tough. But Scotty's been really good defensively for us, neutralizing those kind of guys. And I think after the first, whatever it was, 4 or 5 minutes, I think he did a really, really good job.
Darko, kind of nice to have, some great contributions from your bench, especially Bruce and Kelly. Something you haven't had too often this year because of their injuries.
Yes, definitely. Bruce brought a lot of energy off the bench, especially first half, and we were down. Like he was able to help us to get important stops, to get some deflections and steals, scored some points for us. It just gave us some energy there at the beginning, and I thought that Kelly did a really good job throughout the whole game with playmaking, with scoring. He had a couple of verticalities and block shots at the rim. I thought that he played really well for us tonight.
What happened? They switched the defensive tone for you guys in the last 3 quarters. You started guarding people really, really well.
They started the game shooting 6 for 6. If team makes 18 points early in the game, the scoreboard is going to keep moving. Our biggest adjustment was the way we were guarding the ball, picking up even higher, making it harder for them to get into directions, and really focusing on making those guys miss. That team is a very talented team. They're a really good defensive team. At the same time, they're 30th in making threes in NBA. That's one of their weaknesses. But tonight, especially that first quarter, they were making shots. We adjusted that. We started playing much harder on the ball, preventing paint touches and contesting the ball better.
What do you think that Scotty did on Paolo, on Beccaro, guarding him all night?
I thought that Scotty did a really good job. And everything. Banchero is a hell of a player, and tonight he had to earn everything. I thought that Scotty did a really good job of taking him away a little bit from the rest of the team. He ended up with 2 assists. Post-ups were hard for him. He was not getting anything easy. Some of those threes that he made early in the game, and we switched. We put Yak on him, and he shot off the dribble there. But I think overall that Scotty did a really good job.
You guys did a great job executing against the zone in the third. How important, in particular, were the 2 vets in that regard? Kelly in his shooting and his passing, and then Bruce in his cutting in terms of breaking the zone?
For sure, that's a big part, but I think all the guys, they did their part of the job. We had Grady having great cuts, getting wide open, corner 3. Davian was in the right spot. We put against the zone Scott in the middle of the floor, and his playmaking from there where he can really find open people. So I felt that all the guys that were on the court, they did their part of the job there, and obviously veterans helped with that.
You mentioned that they're a really strong defensive team, but I think by the numbers, this was one of your better half-court performances so far this season. What do you think was the key to scoring at such a high rate and being able to execute that well?
I did not see it for us that it was easy to score outside of that third quarter. They're a very physical team. They do a really good job of using hands, creating a lot of deflections, a lot of steals. We started the game with 3 turnovers in 3 possessions, and that took some life from us and some confidence. But as the game was progressing, we ended up first half with only 5 turnovers, which means for the rest of 22 minutes, 23 minutes, we committed only 2 turnovers. But we were not aggressive enough, and that was our we talked about that at halftime, that we need to step up defensively. We need to be much more aggressive, finish possessions with rebounding, and really get out in transition and try to score, which that's what we do best when we get in open court and execute score. But also in half court, I thought that we were able to find extra pass, to touch the paint, to create closeouts and play make from there.
Coach, go ahead. Two-part question about Ulrich. What have you seen from him in terms of development, and do you think that he can have real minutes in the NBA by the end of the season?
I think that Ulrich is doing an amazing job. I think that he's working really hard. I think that he's learning the game, learning terminology. There is a lot on his plate. He's learning, what it takes to be professional at this level. We have a plan for him, and we don't want to rush this kid. He's going to be getting opportunities. He's going to be playing with us as well. I am really, really satisfied how our coaches and 905 team are doing a great job with him and slowly progressing the way he's performing and playing and learning. There is a lot for him to learn. And to be honest with you, those 2 minutes that he played tonight, I was so happy for him. You could see on his face, he was genuinely happy just to be on the floor there with his guys and to celebrate there. So I see a lot of potential with him, and we're gonna invest this kid and help him become an NBA player.
Coach, what went into the decision for Jonathan Mobo to be inactive tonight? It was a little different than what we had talked about pregame with Chris there, and then all 3 two-ways being active.
Not much. We were planning to keep him on 905 assignment. Chris he was out for 3 days, and when Chris came today, he tried to go a little bit in pre-game and to go through play groups. I did not plan of playing him. But you know what, once you get punched in the mouth, all the plans, they kind of go out of the window, and I was hoping that he can give us a burst of energy, which he did there in the first half. So that was the reason for him to dress up tonight and not JMO. At the same time, we wanted to award AJ and Ulrich to be with us tonight with the team.
You guys had talked earlier this year about maybe keeping Scotty out of some of those super tough defensive assignments. Obviously, you've gone towards that more lately. What does it say about him that he's able to do that and lead the team in assists, rebounding, field goal attempts, kind of bring it on both ends?
I don't recall saying that we're going to keep Scotty outside of the hard defensive matchups. On contrary, I want him to guard the best players on the other team. I think that Scotty is a two-way player. and he is so unselfish. He's such a great team leader for our group. He had 14 points in the first half, and he did not force anything in the second half. He was just playing defense, rebounding the ball, whatever it takes to help the team win. And when you look at work that Scotty Barnes is bringing in every single night, everything is about that. It's about how do I help team to win. And tonight that meant to play more defense and to be focused on Banchero, which is physically exhausting, but he was our best matchup on him, and he did an outstanding job there, in my opinion.
Coach, last one. In Scotty's first 2 seasons, he faced some criticism about his body language on the court. But this season, especially lately, he seemed very engaged and is communicating a lot with his teammates. You've worked with him for about a year and a half now. How have you seen him grow as a leader, and have you guys had any conversations about leadership?
I cannot testify what was going on before I started working with Scotty. Since my day one with Scotty, I realized that he's all about the team. He is an amazing teammate. He loves on his teammates. He wants to be supportive with them. He's learning as a young player what leadership means, how he needs to communicate, and he's improving in all of those areas. He's just outstanding with everything he does with the team and teammates. I'm really proud of his work, and he's going to continue growing with us.
It's Damon Stoudemire, and thanks for watching the Toronto Raptors YouTube channel. Check out our latest videos and subscribe for more.
Stoudemire launches a 3, knocks it in! Stoudemire, yes! What a game!